All righty, excellent. Let's see, I can open that up for comments, and here we are. Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Virtual Celebration. 10 years it's been since the very, very first retreat. And here on the screen, amongst all of us, we're seeing a variety of, and Nick's even here. It's 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. in Macedonia, and he's here for the party. Everyone say hi to Nick. Say hello. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited to be here to celebrate with you guys, and also to shine the spotlight on authors who have been part of our community for, well, Eleni's there nearly 10 years. She was February 2014 retreat. The very first one was October 2013. And we have not 10 authors here, a mix of us. I chose a mix from all the countries because, of course, now we're international for the last 3.5 years. And we've got a couple from the US that I'll be speaking, Canada, New Zealand, of course, Australia. And if I didn't ask you, it's not because I didn't want to, it's just because there's over 800 of you that have been through this program, and some of you like multiple books. We're going to hear from the first author who's got the record holding books as well. He'll be first to speak. But before I do any of that, I'm just going to share my screen, and I just want to share a little bit about the origin story of where we've come from. I'm sure many of you have heard it, but we're taking a trip down memory lane, and I'm just going to share that and go through there. By the way, before we do start, can you do me a favor, and in the chat box type in where you are and what retreat you were at, maybe is in May 2015, November, so just so we can all see, and that you can use the chat box. And then we're going to get stuck because more and more people are logging in. There you go. Honolulu, Sydney, Brisbane, New Zealand. Yes, there's some of you that have been at multiple retreats. Stuart's in the dungeon and he's been at all of them. Hey, you guys, coming from over, a nice one. August 23, Adelaide, Amy, Port Douglas. Yeah, Vivi is logging in from Port Douglas. She's in a 2-week vacation, our publications manager, and she's logging in from their Gold Coast, November 23. Amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, everybody. All right, so let's talk about what's the party plan. I was thinking, what sounds like a house party plan, but anyway, this is what we're going to cover off over the next 90 minutes. We're going to go through the origin story briefly, because sometimes some of you guys that have already worked with us, they go, now, where does 48-hour author come from? That I don't understand why we called it Ultimate 48-hour author. So I'm just going to remind you where it all came from, and our 10-year journey and what has occurred. And then we're going to hear from our 10 authors over the 10 years, and I'll show what retreat they were at and their books and the evolution, and they'll talk for about 3 minutes each about them and their experience and how their business and lives have changed because they wrote books. Then we're going to talk to go through the team members, and they're going to share a memorable moment. So we're not going to be serious today, like, oh, this is my role and this is what I do in the business. We are going to be sharing something funny we remember from a retreat, and I have a few photos organized as well. I'm going to talk about our 10% for 10 years briefly at the end, and we're going to do a prize giveaway. So there's going to be 3 questions I'm going to give you, and people are going to have to be fast in the chat box, and we're going to do 3 prize giveaways at the end. All right, so let's see how we go. Let's stick to time. So the birth of Ultimate 48-Hour Author began in January 2013. So the birth, like where the idea, and as you guys would know, that Donna Brown and I went away on a weekend to write this book, Ninja Couch Marketing. So I worked out that by interviewing someone and recording him, that I could transcribe, of course, the audio, and all of a sudden have it all down on paper and just clean it up and have it done. When I did the maths, that it only took 17 to 20 minutes of speaking to speak out 12 chapters, which is approximately 5 hours of speaking, that would give me a 40,000 word book, which is a 160-page book, which a lot of you would know is the size of books we recommend that you stick to, right? And so Donna and I went away on this weekend in January 2013 to write Ninja Couch Marketing half each. And it actually only took 3 hours because I wrote 6 chapters, she wrote 6 chapters, and 70 to 20 minutes per chapter meant like about 3 hours of speaking. And then we had a girls' weekend away. It was crazy. It was really, really cool. And then a few months later, she was doing these working her PJs days. I thought, if she stands for working your PJs, what the hell do I stand for, right? And so I decided that if I could write half a book in 3 hours, I could get people to do a whole book in 6-7 hours allocated. I can lock them down, feed them, water them, and provide a package. And my idea was to have this package that was going to be all inclusive, end to end, right? That it wasn't going to let people fail. Because the one thing that I saw through the book, mentorship and coaching space, that only 3% of people follow through and get a result, right? And so I decided that if I can do a full inclusive package and they're committed to this whole process, that they won't fail, they'll actually get the book done. And it was very expensive, right? Because there was a lot of costs back then: accommodation, meals, sometimes flights, editors, publishing package, which I was purchasing from a Melbourne-based company, Busy Bird Publishing, for the first 5 years we were in business. And so that was a big cost and all that sort of stuff. And so, it was really scary. So when I announced that I was going to do this first retreat, people said, "Have you done this before?" And the people that came to the very first retreat, which is this group of people, were not strangers. They were people who already knew me, liked me, and trusted me. And so when they came out with their books 4 months later, after that October, this is why October 2023 marks 10 years, is, the proof was in the pudding. We did a group book launch at the Pancake Parlor in Doncaster, and we took this photo, and I had all the 10 books. My idea was 10 authors in the house, all this sort of stuff. And then everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool." And so then everything is like, it started to grow, right? I exhausted my warm network, right? Eleni, you'll see you're probably in one of these photos. I think you're in, there you are, right here, retreat number 2 in that little photo. And so in these pictures, there are the authors who will be speaking today, but we did 28 retreats for a year here in Australia. And we had we had people traveling from the US because I did a couple of tours there, face to face. We did a Las Vegas retreat. We had a 2-year partnership with the Middle East. And in 2018, we introduced our own publishing company. It was time to grow again. And we introduced Ultimate World Publishing, which has the exact same logo as Ultimate 48-Hour Author, because we didn't want to put on the backs of the books the Ultimate 48-Hour Author logo. Because why? Well, people will judge those books. This book was done in 48 hours. It's not good, right? They already say that it's not possible and all this. So this made us look, this makes our authors look like, books look like they're published by a global publisher and super professional. And therefore, we've never looked back, because our business absolutely exploded during the pandemic, which meant we merged and pivoted online very, very suddenly. And we have hosted 17 virtual retreats. The model has not changed. And I know some of you who've been to a face-to-face retreat, you would think, it can't be as good as online, but trust me, it is. Look at all the fun that we still have online. It's actually more effective and faster. People do less of the partying and drinking and dancing till 3 a.m. in the morning and taking it as a holiday. They're actually doing the writing. Okay, so we have seen actually more compliance to following the steps and completion of the books with the virtual model. But we still have the fun. We still have the song. We still have the potato and straw exercise. We still candle and lighter exercise. We still do all of those things. We have even dance moves we've got to learn, and cocktail hour at the end of day 2. So I've completed 14 books to date, and now it's no more about me, but I want to shine the light on our amazing authors who've been through this journey. So I'm going to unmute you as you're coming on next. so that you're ready to go. And so you're going to have to give me permission at your end to do so. So the first person I'm going to introduce you to is from Perth. So 3 hours behind, nice and early for him, Wael Ibrahim. And I had to take a screenshot of all your 5 books because, you know, it's amazing. You're the record holder of the most books ever published through us. So, Wael, I've met you face to face. We've had dinner. We've connected whenever we've been to Perth. We really love you. And every January I get a message from you. Marek, I'm ready for my next book. So please, the floor is yours. Share a little bit of how you've helped people, how this has impacted your life. And yeah, go ahead.
Good morning from Perth. My name is Wael Ibrahim. Nat, I miss you. I miss Stewart. I miss the entire team. And thank you so much for the invitation to include me in this beautiful 10 years anniversary of success. And I want to delve into the points that I prepared. Number one, guys, for those who don't know me, I thought that the whole idea was a fraud. I attended the workshop, the half-day workshop in Perth, and I said, there is no way I'm going to attend this retreat. These people are fraud. And that was exactly, I left the workshop with that exact feeling. I didn't look back. I did not even think of Natasha, but there was a phone call that was prepared on that very day. And Natasha called me. I remember it was late at night, and I immediately felt the sincerity, the professionalism. And above all, she gave me a hint about speaking the book. The hint was about to speak the book. And I am a good speaker. Alhamdulillah, I've been traveling. I've been invited to so many places. So I like to speak. And I thought perhaps all these ideas that I had on my files, if I could speak them, and these guys will do the magic and make me sound smart on books, then why not? So I jumped into the retreat, and the drama continues. If you remember, Natasha, I arrived to Melbourne a night before the retreat, and at the airport there was an incident. Some thugs attacked me, if you remember, and they snatched all my documents and the laptop and everything that was prepared for the retreat, for the weekend retreat. And I went to the retreat without anything. Like, I did not have anything written or planned as per plan of the Natasha. Yeah. And it was a bit hard, but I got all the information, and I took it home later on. And within, I think, a month or two, perhaps, everything was done together, and the first book was published. Yeah. Beat it, 50 plus Shades of Hope. And that was my expertise for many years, but I couldn't actually put anything on writing. And because I came from a background where people are a bit conservative, sensitive, most of my audience, if not all, are Muslims, and these topics are brushed under the carpet. Nobody wanted to talk about it. But actually having a book and presenting myself now as an expert in the field makes things a lot easier and more professional, and people start looking at me differently, inviting me here, inviting me there. Workshops, I delivered, I think, over 800 workshops in different countries around the world, and I cannot even believe myself saying this number. But then the fever continued. Like when that book was out, I said, that's it, I'm an author. But something happened. Like I started, any idea that comes, I wanted to convert it into a book. So I came up with Aware, Find Out Who You Are Without Porn, and then Better Me, 365 ways to transform your everyday life. Look how thick it is. And then the most important book that I have published with Natasha was a very personal experience. And again, I was at the verge of depression during this time when I experienced a massive slip disc in my lumbar area that pinned me to the ground on a wheelchair for 1 year. Almost 1 year, I couldn't feel my waist down. And because of writing, guys, I was able to convert all these psychological trauma into lessons on how to cope with pain, and how to, not necessarily physical pain, but emotional pain, psychological pain, mental pain, whatever pain that you're stuck with, how to actually get back up on your feet. And that was my wheelchair, my journey of getting back up on my feet. Without really this book, I would have been in a very depressive state up until now, because the pain was excruciating. the entire lumbar area. You can imagine one disc in our spinal column could cause a lot of pain, let alone the whole 5 discs were crashed at one go. And finally, I went back to porn education, and Porn is Mental was my final book with Natasha, and I think that's not going to be the last. I think there are a lot of projects on my mind. I don't know when will I stop writing. Don't know.
I
But
usually expect this from you mid-January.
I had an experience before Natasha about something booklet like this that I wrote very long time ago when I was in China. But now other publishers started contacting me to write books, and right now I have 2 books with them in Malaysia.
Nice.
One is called My Unknown Future, and another one is Halal Humor. Halal in Arabic means permissible, so it's about relationships. So it's a very funny book on relationship, lawful and unlawful relationship. And my last book is going to be published also in December with the same publisher. It's called My Wife, My Life. Again, personal dramatic experience now became an opportunity for me to sit and reflect. And instead of making it too personal, of course, taking care of the wife, but instead of making it just about me and my wife, I could use those lessons and share them elsewhere with people who are perhaps going through the same issues. So that's gonna be my last book, and I think the series will continue, Natasha. I believe it's not gonna be ever an end to this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Wael. I really appreciate you popping in today. I know you wanted to be first because you've got lots of things. Wael's got a massive following, guys, and you know, if you want to share any of your links or pages, I know Lindy's already shared the direct links where people will get your books. But I really appreciate you, and yeah, look forward to seeing what's next. All right, buddy. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Thank you. Awesome. All right, you guys, so let's go on to our second author from Australia, Eleni Maita. So she is the longest, furthest back author, retreat number 2, okay? And that was in Feb 2014, and she's become a beautiful family friend of ours. She's seen my children being born. And actually, a little secret, we made Zara during her retreat. That's a funny thing. So Eleni had her book is Mindset Dominance, and you can see the cover has changed, and that's a photo from the group book launch back then. So I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Natasha. I want to say congratulations to Wael. That's incredible. 5 books, and also a massive congratulations to Natasha and Stuart, particularly. Really, they're truly inspirational people, and I've always looked up to Nat as, you know, what is possible when you are dedicated, when you are passionate. And you know, it's such a beautiful journey to watch Natasha's journey, because we can see her right ahead, and we know that anything is possible. Anything is possible when you watch how Natasha delivers and also celebrates. So it's beautiful to see this celebration too, celebrates all the achievements. So with my particular journey, Mindset Dominance, it really was incredible in terms of the credibility the book gave me. So with myself, very soon after I produced this book, I was invited to go overseas to speak in the States at a hypnosis conference. And the fact that I had a book with me made the biggest difference, because automatically I didn't have to prove my credibility, because who was I? I was just this chick from Australia, and here I am teaching Americans how to do hypnosis. But the fact that I had my book with me made the biggest difference in terms of I didn't have to prove the credibility, because it was already there. And my audience, my American audience, grew immediately, so much so that I started traveling the world and speaking at hypnosis conferences. I was invited to be the keynote speaker. I would go to the States 4 times a year. I've been to London, New Zealand, all over the place. And my clients grew to be a global audience. And you know, it was just an incredible, epic journey. Not only that, apart from the fact that, you know, as soon as you speak and you've got a book at the back of the room, I would give my book as a gift rather than sell it. And then what would happen is clients would automatically feel that this person is, she wants to, she's full of integrity. She just gives the book away. She's not there just to sell it. And then you will find that what actually happens is that people want to be in your circle and want to buy from you anyway. So over the years, I've gifted 12,000 books since that time, since 10 years ago, and we still gift them. So even though I'm no longer doing the hypnosis circuits because I have shifted in my focus, I still have a clinic that's fully operational with 8 hypnotherapists in Melbourne. And we give our gifts away. We put a beautiful HypnoFit bow on the book, and our clients receive that, and they know that that's from the founder of HypnoFit. And so that is a beautiful gift that I still give away. So even though I wrote this book 10 years ago, it still is received with so much gratitude from our clients. And people that have read this book, I have had so many stories about people who have, lost weight immediately. They don't have to do anything else just from the book. But I do tell you one thing I wish I did earlier, which I have not done, and that is for people who have got the book, who are writing your own book. Just a little tip that I wish someone told me 10 years ago is that given I've given away 12,000 books, I haven't asked anyone ever to do an Amazon review. So imagine if I did, because I know they love the book. They tell me, but I was just so busy with everything else I was doing. It didn't even occur to me. And so I would recommend that you do that, because if I had done that, I would have a lot of reviews now on Amazon. So yeah, in terms of the journey, it's definitely something that was well worth it. At the time that I wrote this book, I was very busy. I was seeing 25 clients a week. I was speaking, I was training. And really, if I did not do the course, I don't think I would have written it, because it would be just too hard and I don't have the time to do it. But I had to make the time to do it. And it really has paid in dividends. And so, yeah, I think that you're definitely in beautiful hands with Natasha and Stuart and the team, because they are people with high integrity, high values, and yeah, I love them dearly.
Thank you, my gorgeous. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in Adelaide. I actually, when I talk about you at the seminar, I say, Eleni's semi-retired. She's got her practice in Melbourne that's running with other people, and she lives in Adelaide with her partner. And what a lifestyle, and you did the work for the 12, 13 years that you were full on in this. And we realized we actually started same year in 2010, and you're a little bit ahead of me in terms of your child's grown now, but yeah, living a wonderful lifestyle because of all the things that you did, and the book was part of that journey. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, so we move on to another Australian author, in Christine Stowe, who came to our early retreat as well, retreat number 4, so very, very early on. It was only a 5-person retreat. It was very intimate, and I was pregnant with Zara, and she was trying to get me off this little thing where I was dancing 6 or 7 months pregnant. She goes, oh my God, you're going to fall over and you're pregnant, all this sort of stuff. But I invited Christine because it's not so much that there's been a business behind this book, but the transformation she had on this personal level of how her life has changed. So I'll hand it over to you and she can share that.
Oh, am I on now?
Oh, you're on.
I can't see me on the camera, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so I met Nat and Eleni both at the same time through Magnificent Women in Business. And I actually got one of Nat's books in a Kris Kringle, and that's what kicked me off. And then I went to a workshop with Stuart, and he said, you've actually got a story here. So, and I'd gone to the workshop to support somebody else who wanted to write a book. I had no intention of writing a book. It was never on my horizon. But Stu said, you've got a story here. Why don't you come to a retreat? So, and my story is, so not just Imogen's mother, I've got a daughter with disabilities. So Imogen is now 23. Back then she was 13. She doesn't walk or talk. She's in a wheelchair. And so, and I'd recently, a few years prior, split up with my now ex-husband. So in my mind, there's no way that I was going to leave her behind. So we juggled around and then found a way, and that's become my mantra: find a way to make things happen. So much like Whale, I came along to the retreat. You know, first time I'd ever left Imogen alone. First time I'd left it, not alone, but I mean with support workers. So I got down there, it was 2:00 or something, and then she was due home at 4:00, and I had everything organized, you know, support worker, get her off the bus and get her into the house, and keys and backpack and fed, everything laid out, organized. And then 4:00, I got a call. Can't get into the house. And I was like, I'm 2 hours away, support worker back in Melbourne, had the first time I've ever left Imogen behind before. And now the support worker can't get her into the house. So luckily I had keys planted. I had one planted in the garden. So here I am on the phone to the support worker, looking around in the garden for the key, and she couldn't find it. And then next thing she said, oh, your other daughter's here. And I was like, other daughter? Oh, yes. So my older daughter had come home, and so she had a key and was able to get into the house. So I spent the rest of the weekend, recording my book. And from there, I've gone on to, with my book, I had the Minister for Disabilities actually launch my book. And I always say, as Nat says, and Eleni, have a book in your hand. You never know when you're going to be in front of someone. So I went to a meeting with the treasurer of the country and was able to give him a copy of my book. So, and then I got elected to local government, and I've gone on to publish this second book, which I always wanted to do. I always wanted to have the same things for other carers. So I published this compilation of carer stories. We launched on September the 12th, and a lot of people have got a lot out of this book. So other carers have been able to share stories. They've been inspired. And it's also a sense of accomplishment, that they've got a sense of celebration and accomplishment. I'm a carer. Oh, it's hard, but still I'm able to accomplish something. So, and I wouldn't have written the second book if I didn't write the first book. So there's been so much. I mean, there's so much more, but there's only 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today.
Oh, you're welcome. And Christine, I've seen you travel and be able to leave Imogen and do things, and that's one thing. She said, my life changed because that was the first time I left, and I knew that it will be okay, and I'll find a way to do more.
Yeah, that's right. So I was able to go to Disneyland, take my other daughter to Disneyland, and left Imogen for a week. So it's like little steps.
I love it. Thank you so much. And well done on that second book as well. I know we've been talking about a third one too. So now we go to another part of the world. Someone who is from Canada but currently is in Thailand. And when she worked with us, she was in Thailand for both of her retreats, retreat number 42 and 43. Lisa Brearley, you can see she's already done 2 books. You're kind of going, well, it's not been that long. She's back in Thailand now. So that's where she's joining us. It seems like she's created this lifestyle, 6 months when it's warmer in Canada, and then escape the winter and go to Thailand. So Lisa, please share your story and what you've been doing.
Thank you very much, Natasha, and congratulations again. Before I get started, I would like to acknowledge my husband, Scott Brearley, who has definitely supported me in this brand new journey of mine, because I've been a teacher for almost 20 years. And I'm excited for his book that's going to also come out, called My Perfect Storm. He's doing with Natasha as well. And as I said, I am a Canadian, and I am currently in Thailand right now, and transitioning, but we're living our life of liberty. Yes, like Natasha said, 6 months in Canada when it's warm, 6 months in Thailand when it's warm. So I would like to share today kind of my first impressions of Natasha. And like a Whale, when I first heard about it, I questioned it a lot too, wondering if this is a real thing. And I would also like to share a little bit about the 48-hour crew, and of course the amazing benefits and transformations that I gained working with Natasha. How did I get started? Actually, was a year ago, Natasha, like literally a year celebration right now. I was on Facebook and saw your ad, and we connected via a Zoom call. And first impressions on Natasha right away, I trusted her. I knew I was in good hands. She was confident, had all the answers to all my questions, very goal-oriented. Saw the glass half full. That was important. That's kind of the way I live my life as well, and love her zest for life and motivation. And she was kind of the real deal. So I signed up. And as she said, I went to the November 2022 retreat, where I ended up publishing my book called A Year of Love. Really just the girl next door writing her story about herself and about my love story with my husband. And then again, I was so excited about that. I got the writing bug and needed to write a second book. So signed up for the February retreat 2023. And that blue book you see on the screen, 6 Months of Love, will be published probably in the new year, early new year. And I was so, I suppose, taken aback by this author thing, that I was loving the creativity of it. I've signed up with Natasha to write 2 children's books. My nutrition one is very close to being started with her, and then one on personal development, which is extremely important to me. The Ultimate 48-Hour program, the crew, just outstanding. Amazing input and guidance from Stuart. A lot of patience from Viv and Julie for the amount of emails that I send. And Lindy, thank you for all your support and expertise, and just the overall care and attention to detail. I knew I was in good hands when I took on this project. The overall benefits and transformations that I received through this are absolutely priceless. And it is exactly what Natasha says, your famous quote, Natasha, it's not about writing your first book, it's about the person you become at the other end of it. So I do a lot of personal development work. So taking risks and stretching my comfort zone, and knowing that that's where all the growth happens. And there are no dumb questions. That's very important too. And always ask for support. And I think through this, I've learned that my smile is one of my superpowers. So I'm happy to share that often. And I'm super excited for my husband and I. We're starting a new online coaching course, or a program, I should say, business, called Forward Walking Choices. And I think it's very appropriate, because that's definitely how I felt in your program. I'm making forward walking choices. So I will share my my website and where you can buy my book, and it is on Amazon and that sort of thing as well. And it is the pink book is out now, and the blue book will be out in a few months. So thanks, Natasha, again, congratulations. Amazing.
Thank you, Lisa. And we love you guys, and you and also you've introduced us to a lot of people that need our help, and I really appreciate it. I think Ron's on the call here today, who's just about to do his November retreat. We really appreciate that, because you guys know people that if your friends are anything like you, we want them. We want to help them write books, because that's how magic happens. So thank you, I appreciate it, and I look forward to meeting you in real life in Thailand next year in Phuket, when we come to do our Club Med retreat with my personal trainer. Actually, 9 of our surfers are going. All right, so now we go to the US, and we got Catherine Metzger, who did the 40th retreat. I absolutely loved and remember Catherine from my interview with her on that Monday morning, Sunday afternoon with her. And even though we have helped people do a lot of self-help books and things like that, I found what you did was really practical, and one of my funnest interviews I've ever done with an author. And I want to know, actually, where are you at in life, and what's going on now, and what's happened as a result of the book? So the floor is yours.
Well, I've been loving life. And as you know, I love to teach. I love to keep it practical. I'll try to stick within my 3 minutes here, Nat. First of all, big thank you to Nat, Stu, Julie, Lindy, all of the 48-Hour team. I'm celebrating, your 10-year anniversary. Congratulations. And thank you for all your help. And knowing that I love to teach, I kind of wanted to put my journey through what are the 6 human needs, right? And so writing a book creates a lot of uncertainty in us, because not only do we have to write the book, but then we have to figure out, how do we get it published? How do we get it edited? How do we create the design? How do we, get it printed? There's all these questions where even if you could form your thoughts into something that makes sense to other people, there's still a lot of unknowns, and having all of that overwhelm can lead to inaction. So I really appreciate having the 48-hour author team to give me some certainty to balance out that uncertainty that writing a book can bring up with people. The other human needs that it really meets in all of us is we all want to feel significant, and having written a book that really positions us as an expert and sort of sets us apart from the crowd and allows people to hear our voice. And it also gives connection not only to our potential clients and our readers, but also I started working with my mentor, and I had asked him to write the foreword for my book. So that created a connection with him, which led to partnership opportunities. And then also with Growth and Contribution, my book is about how I refound myself after getting out of a narcissistic relationship. And so being able to write this book has helped me to find my voice again and to grow within who I am as a person, as well as an entrepreneur. And it also has allowed me to fill the contribution that I want, where I'm able to help those people who have been through similar situations. And it's so rewarding to get that feedback. I actually had one of my readers tell me confidentially, but no names, that this book helped her more than 10 years in therapy. So, just being able to help people is so rewarding. And there's really nothing like it. And then as far as the business, I like to say some people think you need more money to grow, but I think you just need a better strategy. And this book is that better strategy for me, where I've used it for opportunities to go out to vendor events that I wouldn't necessarily be able to go to. And while I'm out there, I'm meeting with those potential clients. I have my notebook to collect for my email list. And I also offer a one-on-one coaching session with the book, so then I can get in person with them. So it's just overall an amazing experience. Again, big thank you to the team. And I dropped my link in the chat for where you can buy my book, which I'll do again. And also, I will put in a page. I have a gift for you all if you want to go to my site. It's got the 6 human needs, so you can take a deep dive into that. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Thank you.
So proud of you, and I want to bring you back for another interview. We can have some fun, 6 or 12 months after the fact. So Amy, if you want to come off mute, Amy Revell, perfect. Thanks, Amy. Thank you so much, Catherine. I wish you every success. I want to even see where you sometimes I love seeing the journey, and I've been able to now see this journey 7-10 years for people. With Eleni, it was 10 years she's been part of my life. As I said, some of you guys become family friends, and none other but Amy Revell has become that. Amy Revell completed can you believe the first retreat remotely, when remote retreats didn't even exist? Retreat number 12, which was August 2016. She said, nah, I don't want to come to retreats, none of that. Can you just work with me remotely, but I'll be part of the group. And she sent in a little gift to her retreat buddies before we went to this retreat, because she lives just around the corner from me. She brought it to the house. Can you give all this and tell them that I'm doing this with them alongside, but I'm not there? And so she wrote the book, Simply Organized. She's the current record holder of the fastest book ever written and published in just 49 days. I talk about you at the seminar every week. And every time I need to keep updating my slides, you can see her cover did change. From the first cover with her on there to the second cover there. She's had a lot of media exposure and things like that. And anyway, I'll hand it over to her. She's our family friend. We've seen each other's kids grow up and played games and comps and had them for New Year's Eve parties. But anyway, tell us about your journey, Amy.
Thanks, Nat. And congratulations to you and the team. It's unbelievable how much success you have instilled into others through your belief in people. So I'm a professional organizer and declutter coach. And until I wrote my book, nobody knew what I did. Not even my husband, not my kids, not my family. And so unless someone had hired me to go into their home, I run a service-based business. And so people just didn't have kind of any reference for what I did. There was kind of just nothing they could pin it to. And so besides having the pride of writing a book and unlocking a creativity in myself I didn't even know existed, my book has become a tangible expression of my business. And so I've written down like 3 things that the book has done for my business. Because I really wrote it with the idea of like, how can I supercharge the business that I've created to grow it, reach more people, and change the way that people live in their homes. And Nat and Stu always say that your book is a business card on steroids, and oh my gosh, it absolutely has been. I literally don't print business cards anymore. I've just got my book, but it helps me to stand head and shoulders above my competition. Like, everybody's got a great website, everybody's got social media, everyone's doing Instagram reels, but not everybody's an author. And so it has made a real difference in, standing out in my industry as a leader. And the second thing that I didn't expect, but has actually been a game changer, is I feel like my book has been not just a business card, but a ticket into rooms that I otherwise wouldn't have gone into, or areas of influence. Now, whether I wouldn't have gone into them because I just didn't have the self-confidence, or I didn't feel I was due there, but my book has absolutely opened doors I never would have thought I could walk through. So one of the things I've loved doing is I've started doing expert commentary in the media and contributing on my topic, right across print media and TV and radio and podcasting. And the third thing that it's really helped me with is that tangible product. And so it's something I can give a client. It's something when I do speaking engagements, I've got my books there. And now often what happens is I'll be booked for a speaking engagement, and then they will buy 100 copies of my book to give to everyone that attends. So I just feel like it was this foundation that allowed my business to just explode to now where, it's an incredible business that I love doing. And literally the book was the kickstart for that.
That, Amy. And I think the last time I checked in with you, you had like a team of 36 people who are kind of doing stuff. I don't know what number it's at now. But you were solo. You came and organized my office that I'm standing in right now. You guys just can't see it because of my virtual background. We worked on my garage because Mum didn't want that Christmas gift. I said, you come and do my garage. Mum's sitting there going, I'll just give you shopping money for something else. But I know I've loved, and every time I get an update, I need to update my slide for my presentation. So I'll tell the next part of the journey. So congratulations. I'm really proud of you. And thank you so much for being and jumping in here today with us and celebrating. Awesome. All right, so now we got across the pond, is that what they say to New Zealand? Heidi Jennings completed 2 retreats. I got to meet Heidi on the Gold Coast last year in September in real life. So some of my online authors I don't get to meet nowadays face to face, and I hope that I actually do get to meet quite a few of you as we go on this journey, because I am very much like a social person who'd like to, it takes the relationship to a different level. So Heidi completed 2 books, also just in 12 months, retreats 37 and 40. And these are her 2 books, and I'll hand it over to her to talk about her journey.
Thank you so much, Nat. So good to be here. Really appreciate the invitation, and just such a big congratulations to you and the whole team. You have been such an important part of my life, and not just from a book writing point of view, but you've also been our business mentor, and Steve and I are both so grateful for that. So yeah, a couple of years ago, back in May 21, I'd come through a period of chronic illness, and the conventional medical system just couldn't help me. They didn't have a clue. And so it became my mission, along with my husband, Steve, to figure out what on earth was going on. And so luckily, my husband, Steve, is a holistic health coach as well. And we had to find a way to get me better. We did that, and now we are able to share that program of healing the body naturally with our clients. So it got to 2.5 years ago, and we thought, we've got a really powerful story here. We need to share our story. And it was like, okay, the book is the ticket to do that. So the book writing process for me has been utterly transformational, both professionally and personally. I think there's something really special about being able to call yourself a published author, and even further, an Amazon #1 best-selling author. It's a real personal accomplishment, and it was certainly a bucket list item for me. So I'm really proud of that. And it's something, I want to keep doing. I want to keep writing books. So I published both these books within the space of 15 months. So I'm just having a little bit of a break from that at the moment. But from a business point of view, it's been fantastic, because what it's done is it's really set us apart from our competitors. And holistic health coaching is still a relatively new space to be in. A lot of people don't know what it is, or they're quite skeptical. And so this has become a real educational tool to be able to go, hey, look, read our book, read what our story, how we got through chronic illness, and then we share a lot, obviously a lot about what we do in those books. And the great thing about these books is that they're getting passed around. So someone will buy the book and then they'll pass it to their family or their friends who they know need some help with their health. And then we get a phone call or an email going, hey, I read your book, I want to come and work with you. So it really sets us apart from our competitors. I think, if someone's got a choice between working with a health coach who's got a book and one who hasn't, they're probably going to go with the one who spent the time writing the book, because it really proves that they know their stuff. So I've had speaking opportunities that have come up from this, where I can sell my book. I've been on the radio. We run 12-week and 12-month programs with our clients, and we give our books to all our clients. And then, of course, they get passed around as well. So, yeah, I have to say this is probably one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life. It's just been a life-changing thing for me. I'm so grateful that I crossed paths with you, Nat, and found you, and I'll be forever grateful. So it's just been a fantastic experience, and I tell everyone about you guys.
I'm so happy that I got to know yourself and Steve a lot more over the last 12 months. As you say, I told you I don't take on any one-on-one clients unless I really can see that they can skyrocket. And the goal we set 12 months ago, you guys achieved just a few weeks ago. You were celebrating. So I can't wait to, again, watch your journey for the following, 3-5 years and where it unfolds, because this is kind of where it starts. But as you've heard from the ones that have just gone before, that have been around longer, it's been, it keeps growing.
Yeah.
I love it. And awesome. All right. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go on the other side of the world again to Boston, to Luba. And you can see there a picture of me, Stuart, and Luba in Boston in April this year. I got to spend the whole day with her, and hand on heart, I spent 3 weeks in the US, but my favorite day in the US that trip was my day with Luba, because she took me everywhere. She planned all of these things for us. My personality, I like to have a one-day holiday, as Moana had described. That's what she does with some of her friends. Well, Luba and I had a one-day holiday, Mo, in Boston. And my time was really short there. So Luba wrote 2 books, as you guys can see, a personal book and then a connected to her business, and she just released her TED talk the other day. That's Linda's going to put all of those links in the chat box, but I'll throw it across to you, Luba. You were at retreat 35 with us.
All right, timer set, let's go. So thank you so much, and congratulations. I have all these things, so I don't forget the journey, but I think just to be on a safe side, because it's 3 minutes, I'll start with the beginning and then like the latest where I am now. I'm going to say when I wrote this book, it was a memoir. And I pushed on Natasha like there's no tomorrow. It's not about the business. I don't want to do the speaking. I am not a speaker. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Fine. I'll listen to this and that. And all those seeds that were planted, including the creation of the courses and the programs and you name it, I now have done it. And so it went from pushing back and just kind of doing little things, with Nick. Oh, let me do this. And then let me do a beautiful workbook that Nick got for me. And one biggest takeaway I would say is, even if you don't know the vision, even if you don't know how it will come together, taking small actions and creating things, creating artifacts is a wonderful thing, because small actions add up to just huge outcomes from my experience. So that was then. 3 years later, I finally have not only I have my business, which is established, I have a super clear vision, my passion that I think I've wanted all my life, but I didn't know I wanted it. I organize retreats and masterminds. And so next week, I'm doing the very first one. And 6 more planned for 2024. I can see me celebrating 10 years from now. all those masterminds and retreats. So 18 women are going to empower each other, which is absolutely wonderful. After I did my memoir, which was really, how do you have a positive outlook on life when life just throws crap your way? And I'm not going to bore you with everything that's in that book. But I think the biggest impact that book did was, yes, the person that I became, but also the impact I had on my children, because my 17-year-old told me a few days ago that she had written a book. It's not published yet, but it's 100 pages and it has 80 poems in it and drawings. And it was just, my mind just went, wow. So we never know the impact we make. And so Natasha and Stuart and the team made it on me. And I apparently passed it on to my children. And Natasha insisted that I show up as an expert in building resilience. I said, no, I'm already an expert in my technical world. So I just figured it would be easier to write another book. And so now I have also a $25,000 Lunch and Learn 3 months program for next year. And as we speak, I think Nick shipped this mastermind workbooks for me for next week. And I think that's it.
Amazing.
And my timer went off. Wow.
Look at that. Oh, I love it. Awesome. And great work, Nick. I know you've been supporting Luba, and you'll hear from me, Nick, in a moment. I'm not going to, since he made the effort to wake up at 2 a.m. and be with us, we're definitely going to hear from him a little bit later on, because he's been part of this team even longer than Lindy. And Lindy was really the first person after me and Stuart. So, all right, let's move on to, Stuart told me it's not across the pond. He said it's across the ditch. So Jenny Tebbett is an author that came to our 5th retreat. So very early days, right? So 9 years ago. And you can tell them what record you hold, Jenny, because you say it really, really well. So I'll hand it over to you, and you can talk about your experience.
Thank you. It's absolutely lovely to be here. Just such congratulations to the 48-hour author team. To get to a 10-year mark like this and to celebrate in this way is just beautiful. I'd really also like to congratulate all the authors in general, but all the authors that are speaking today. It's amazing, you know, even though we're in this group, I'm finding it just so inspiring, just listening to all your stories. And it's such a privilege to be chosen to speak. And I was a little bit different than the other authors. From the minute I heard about this opportunity, I knew it was for me. I hadn't even really considered much about writing a book when it was actually my daughter who said you should talk to Natasha. And so I made the decision very quickly, and the retreat followed. Almost, it was about 2 or 3 weeks. It was just, you know, bang, and it's happening. I had an absolutely fabulous weekend in Melbourne, and it exceeded all my expectations. And I pretty much wrote my book in the first draft in that 48 hours. Out of the weekend, though, I got so much more than a book. I actually got a business blueprint. And what it actually taught me was how to mastermind my business. And I actually realized that the book was actually just going to be a vehicle, but the real success would actually be the business. Now, I'm a bit of a racehorse, so I went away and I just started writing courses, online programs, and marketing them, and just sort of got stuck into it. And before too long, I realized that my course sales that I made had actually paid for my investment with 48-hour author in the first few months. And I've gone on to build a very successful business with everything that I learned. The book, however, was actually a different story. It actually ended up taking me 6 years to get the book into print.
Yep.
Part of this was due to, I had some health issues. I had to have 2 knee replacements along the way, and I also had a pulmonary embolism. But the other thing that I realized, what I'd taken on was so ambitious. My first book was actually a teaching manual involving so much research, and it was actually the culmination of 25 years of my work in education. So it was a huge kind of task. And the point of me telling you all this is that 48-hour author stuck with me throughout. Now, we all get the opportunity to continue to have access and support to all the resources. And I've jokingly called Nat the gift that keeps on giving. Because what company do you know of that allows you just to keep really utilizing the resources kind of years after that first purchase? Now, I've actually ended up modeling my own company on Nat's successful model. It works for you, Nat. And what you really do is that you actually show us how to make it work for us. I've now written 2 books, and the record that I hold is that the first book took me 6 years and the second one took me 6 months. So we do actually get a bit better. But I want to actually finish my 3 minutes with a story about how the book goes before you and you leverage your business from the book. And very recently, a school bought a book for every teacher in their school. And I offer, as part of my package, a free workshop when schools do that. If they buy a book for all the staff, they get a free workshop. As a result of that workshop, I've been invited to do a day's training with the school. And my daily fee is like, and I can't believe this because when I started, I didn't have the courage to charge this, but $1,800 and expensive for the day. And now that school now has other schools interested. I'm already going back there to do more work with them and other schools in January. And his intention is for me to work with them as a consultant for a few years to implement school transformation in my field. So what I'm actually saying here, the sale of a book can lead to thousands of dollars worth of work, as you've heard by the other authors. And this is actually happening just more and more. And so whilst Nat is the gift that keeps on giving, what you've taught me, Nat, is how to use my book so that it keeps on giving. And I would really encourage anybody who's got a dream to actually partner with 48 Hour Author. They will help you to bring it to fruition. All we have to do is keep accessing everything that they have to give. And your dream will actually become a reality.
Thank you. That was an awesome speech. You must have practiced. Oh, you're just so awesome. You've been a teacher for so long and educator. I love it. Yes, shortest and longest book record. It's really, really cool. And what Jenny's mentioning is about 2.5 years ago, I decided that our ultimate package, our signature package, that we would kind of open lifetime access to it. And I actually went back to my authors who were at retreat 2, 3, I mean, Jenny with 5, and said, come back, come into your masterclasses, you get them for life. I started saying to my authors who wanted to write subsequent books, like Moana's here on the call, I said, oh, you were an ultimate author, come and do your second book and focus at another retreat. There's no cost to that and all that sort of stuff. So I see so many of the authors now. Every retreat we have 5 to 6 returning authors writing their second or third books. It's really, really cool. So if you didn't know this and you're here on this call and you have been an ultimate package where you've been to the full-blown retreat, you can come to another retreat in the future at no cost. Of course, your publishing package will have an investment there, but we love seeing you back because you guys bring that calming presence to the first-time authors. And we've got some of the first-time authors who are about to do retreat in about 12 days' time. Sydney and Ron, Zilla, I can see you the guys there on screen. But let's listen to our final author, who is my sister from another mother and father, Francesca Moy, who is my kids' Zia. You know, we don't have much family here in Australia, so we created our own little family. And you can see she's written her 3 books. She was at retreat number 9. So early retreat days, and I've seen her grow and she's seen me grow. So I'll hand it over to her. Go ahead, sis.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I was trying to put the timer because you know that I can speak. Here we go. Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations. I struggled to call you Nat. Sis, congratulations for all of these amazing results and having so many amazing, beautiful people here. Look at this 62. That is incredible. Subtitles, they don't work. I tried. I tried, Stuart, they don't work. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for having me here today. I had the privilege to meet Natasha and Stuart in 2015, and Natasha said, you should write a book. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even speak in English. How can I write a book? And I did it, and I followed the instruction, and it helped me. And I think that really, Natasha always says, it's not about the book, it's about the person that you become on the other side, and it can't be more true. And it's so true, because you become really, the confidence that gave me, and the face that people will do, and I'll be like, you're an author? I'm like, yeah. And it still happened. Like, and I actually, sometimes I think I don't talk about it enough. Yesterday I did an event, and I had my books exposed, and I didn't even mention them, and people were like, wait a minute, are those books yours? I'm like, yeah. So definitely the books changed everything for us. In my business, I was able to grow a business to literally 1 million in 3 years. And I do give this credit to the books, because they give me that extra credibility. I did look very young when I started a business 9 years ago. And people were like, who's this crazy Italian lady and super young kid? I didn't have that credibility, and I do believe that a book gave me that. So thanks to the book, then Natasha and I created a second book, Bums on Seats. And what was it in 5? What was it? What was the time frame? You know better than me, sis.
Yeah, 2 books in 5 months came out.
2 books in 5 months. That's what I thought. And so then I wrote my third book, which is The Invisible to Invincible. And we are about to start the procedure to write a 4th book about my new business. So yes, this was a life game changer for me in my businesses. I created then a second business during COVID. And again, like the confidence that this has given me, the cash flow, the lifestyle, it was incredible. Thanks to this book, we were able to really get our businesses out there even more. So I am forever grateful to Nat and Stuart for the help and the support, and really the help with the push with the confidence, because I don't believe I would have ever had the courage to do national tours and create everything that I've created if I didn't have the back end of this business. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'm so inspired by everybody here. Congratulations on all your books. We are authors. Shut up. This is so cool. So thank you so much. Look at this, sis. 3 seconds left.
Yeah, I know you're doing so well. I wanted to stop sharing so we can all see each other on screen, and we can do a photo together before we go on to the next part. So if you're still if you're off camera and you can come on camera, we can do a couple of photos together. But yeah, sis, we used to do national tours with Francesca. We would go to Perth, and then she'd do her seminar and crew I'd crew for her, and the next day would be my turn, and I'd crew. And we used to live on the road, touring musicians. That's what we were like, running events and
business wives.
Business wives, yeah, absolutely. Let's do a photo together. Let's do a celebration photo. Put your hands up in the air. 1, 2, 3. Awesome, you guys. Well done. Hopefully I did capture everyone. There is 2 pages of people. I'm going to do one more photo because there is 2 pages of people. All right, one more time. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. All right. I think I've got everybody now. Okay. So I really appreciate everyone that has spoken to, today and giving up your time. I know you guys are very busy, successful individuals that I really appreciate. We've still got about 25 minutes to go because we've got some fun stuff to do in our giveaway at the very end, which is a fun game. I'm sure Sis is probably going to stay. She's got a very winning spirit. So she wants to win something, right? I love it.
I love winning.
She loves winning.
Sorry,
she loves winning. All right, let's move on to the next bit. And that is, this is actually, first of all, I just want to stop and say, this is one of my favorite moments when I do receive photos of people holding their first books in hand. At some point in life, any particular, how can I say this? Income does not drive our happiness more and more the more that we earn, right? So to be truly happy in life, we need obviously income, lifestyle, but we also need contribution. And it's been said that $85,000 of income, any more than that per year, doesn't make you happier, right? And so what is the hardest thing to do then is to find fulfillment in life through contribution. And that's what I feel why this has been around. And I've been doing what I've been doing over 13 years is because when I contribute and I see all of these stories and the ripple effect of all these guys, Heidi helping people in health and wellness, Francesca helping people outsource and be successful in that. And I know I'm going to miss everybody, but, you know, Amy decluttering and helping people get organized, you know, disadvantaged families and people with disability and kids, all that. You know, I feel like, you know, I don't know anything about those areas, but these guys are helping them because I help them. You know what I mean? And that is the cool thing, that why we keep doing this. And so when I see this photo, this is really just the beginning of the journey of what I know the authors are going to do on my behalf. You know, so I feel like I'm making an even bigger difference. So I want to introduce you now to the Ultimate Team and some of the funny stories. We're not here to talk about who does what. I'll give you a little description of what people do, but I'm more here to talk about some funny moments we have had on this journey. It's not every single person in this team. We had this beautiful photo shoot by Sumi in Queensland, one of Moana's contacts, and she's become a friend now as well. Yeah, I'll start, I guess, where it all started. I would not exist unless I had this beautiful woman, Yukche, our human resources coordinator. That is her true title in the business. You know, it's all her fault. We always say when the kids do something, it's ultimately all your fault. Yes. And she has been part of this since the beginning. She's always taking care of our children when we go to retreats, even virtual retreats. She does school pickups and school drop-offs. Because we need to be online by 10 to 8 and school starts a little bit later. And so I've taken her off mute and she'll share her, I guess, most memorable moment of this. So go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I'm Natasha's mom. I gave a birth. That's a fact. So the most memorable moment that for me was like even before 10 years, this celebration of the 10 years, we started 10 years before that. So like they were doing like a retreat in you know, rented houses. So like Natasha just gave birth to her child, Zara. And she was adamant to breastfeed her children for a year. So we had to find a way how to do that while she is doing a retreat. So we decided, you know, like we went to Mornington Peninsula, I think was, and so they rented 2 houses. So one for me, one for them, but I had 3 children. She had like 10 authors and Stuart, who was the excellent cook who provided everything for the participant. And so I took my friend while I was in another house. So every 3 hours, I will drive to the Natasha's house so I can go there and give the baby for breastfeeding, wait there, talk to Stuart, see what he's cooking and try his food. Then I'll go back and for another 3 hours, I'll just like wait when the time comes for the next feeding. So that was my memorable and inspiring story for Natasha, how dedicated she was like to breastfeed her children until 1 year old.
Thank you, Boobs. And we call my mum Boobs. That's her nickname. She's also not just human resources coordinator, but she's also head Corchester. So whenever we have team conferences, and usually we go to the Gold Coast house to conference with the team, she makes everyone piss themselves laughing. She's very blunt and she just drops these funny things. But yes, this is Zara. She's only 3 months old. She used to sleep at the retreat house because I would breastfeed through the night and then be dropped off and the authors would get a cuddle. And yeah, she was staying in a house like two streets away from the retreat house to bring the baby for breastfeeding. So thank you for all your support, Boobs, and always, you know, being part of the team. And I was able to retire my mum when she turned 60. So she's been part of our team for 6.5 years. She used to be a commercial cleaner and that was really hard on the body. So when she turned 60, you know, I said, stop working, you know, and I'll support you. And you just kind of fit in ad hoc wherever we need you. She's not all the time responsible for childcare, no way. Since we've been online, we do it all. But yes, there are moments she's on standby. Okay, so let's move over to the banana number 2. I see that you've named yourself Second Banana, Stuart. I'm showing you some book covers because every single one of us in this team has written books, right? Even Mum, she's already got a title, Who Give You Birth, is going to be her title of her book. But Stuart, I'll hand it over to you and you can share your memorable moment.
It was very early. Hello, everyone. It is so awesome. Some of these stories that I was hearing from you guys, the OGs, God, it feels like it was yesterday. So my one stemmed from with all of you know Natasha pretty well, probably almost as, not quite as well as obviously Boobs and me, but we all know she's a little bit of a control freak. So one of the things that she did relinquish control early on with the retreats is when we used to have to find residential places, big mansions that would fit up to 10 people. That's what the retreats were capped at back then when we used to host them at a beautiful property down on the Mornington Peninsula normally. So, you know, there was retreat number 2, and you know, spent 2 months finding the right location, was perfect, had enough bedroom for everyone, big areas where we could run everything with the training. And I get it, we used to host them on weekends, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I got a call on the Wednesday beforehand from a very let's say stressed out property manager saying there was a big fire in your place last night, and I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to use the venue. 2 days out from when our retreat, from people were flying in from all different states in Australia. And so didn't quite want to tell Natasha that, because you could imagine how she might have felt 2 days out from a retreat. We got no venue. You know, it was hard enough to find something with 2 months notice. So jump on the phone, do everything that we can, end up sourcing another property, which ended up being amazing, probably better than the first place was. Yeah, we had to pay overs, but once it was all sorted and done and locked in, about 6 hours later, I could finally let Natasha know, don't worry, darling, it's about 10 kilometres from where it was going to be. All the plans are still going to match out. And yeah, that's Helen, that was the one you were at. Where Zara was potentially born, apparently, or made, not born, made. So yeah, so it is just about being able to adapt, and don't tell Natasha the bad news until the good news is sorted.
Yeah, always come with a solution. And one thing that my team does protect me, as you guys would know, I'm pretty bubbly and a positive personality and all that. And to stay in that kind of state, you have to have also some shields of protection. So if there are some bad news or some problems around the business, as you know, sometimes you got to put out some fires. Generally, Stu and Vivi conspire behind my back and plan on how to tell me or what they can solve before they would tell me anything. Because of course, if something had happened and I need to do a seminar and I need to be at my best, that's all going to play in the back of my head. So Stuart's our marketing manager, as you guys know. He preps all our authors. You would have had a relationship with him if you've worked with us. Welcome, by the way, to those that haven't yet worked with us who are here at the party. We love sharing the love with everyone, but I really appreciate it. So Stuart was the first person in this business. I was able to get him to quit his day job over 10 years ago. It's 11 years ago this Christmas. So we've been fending for ourselves. And that's been a journey. I'm going to share my memorable moment. And we have a few, because we have the photo evidence of this. But my memorable moment was this at the Love Retreat. It was about, I think, November 2019. And in every one of the retreat rooms, they had this wombat, a toy that you could pretty much you could buy it. It was like $30, but every room would have it because it was in the Dandenongs or something along. That was just the thing for this particular hotel. And Vivi and I, you can see actually Wendy is part of our team. You're going to hear from her as well. But Vivi and I, we're always like scheming and doing things before like the evening. So we would have a few shots of Black Sambuca And then we would think of something funny to do. And this was like, so we went to a few authors' rooms and I go, give us your wombat, give us your wombat, give us your wombat. And then we were setting up these scenes of being attacked by the attack of the wombats that night. So that was my funny little memory. So I'll move on to Lindy. I believe, Lindy, you can unmute yourself. And Lindy and I wrote a book together, me and my VA. It was our journey of being together. Well, yes, you were the person after Stuart, very sort of a year after. You've been with us 8 years, and you are now the Amazon #1 bestseller expert that helps all of our authors. And please share your little memorable photo.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Lendy, of course, and I'm from the Philippines. And I am the events coordinator of the team, the Ultimate 48-Hour Author. So I started with the team 8 years ago, and it was just boss Natasha, Sir Stu, and the book designers. So technically, I was there almost from the very beginning, and I am a witness to its progress until it ventured into publishing. So the team is more than a family for me, and I would say being here is a great journey of growth, bonding, and fun. So one memorable moment for me with the team is in 2019, before the pandemic hit the world, the team came over here in the Philippines for our amazing face-to-face team building. I thought I would need to adjust very much because of our cultural differences, but I was surprised that our days were filled with exciting team challenges and activities that pushed us beyond our comfort zones and got us to know each other even more. So we had so much fun, the sunset cruise, the chats, the drinks, the huge waves that almost made mom puke, the singing, and many more. So I was able to show the team our culture here and some of our superstitious beliefs, like I should not take a bath after a massage or else I would tremble, and the thank you bye greetings. And in exchange, I learned the words come on bre, which I still use until now whenever something gets in my way. So that experience has undoubtedly strengthened our bonds, created lasting memories, and provided a solid foundation as a team. And another memorable experience for me was the chance to attend the first online retreat in 2020. When pandemic hit, I thought the business would run dry, but instead we got even busier when we shifted into online. So before pandemic, I never attended any of our events or workshops, master classes, something like that, or retreat, because of course they were all done in the USA, or I mean in the Australia or in the USA. So I was really amazed when I joined the online retreat and was able to interact with the retreat authors. So I felt the energy, and as if I also wrote a book during the entire retreat. So it was really inspirational, especially hearing the stories of everybody. So I am very much thankful that I am still here celebrating the 10th anniversary of Ultimate 48-Hour Author.
Thank you, Lindy. And soon we're going to celebrate 10 years with you. It's going to be exciting. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing. That was such a fun trip. We really wanted to bring Lindy over in 2020, but you know what happened? So our plan is June 2024 that Tammy and Lindy are going to come to the Gold Coast, and we're going to have a whole team. And Nick, June. I've got to tell you the dates, Nick. He might be coming. All right. So Vivi, I'll move on to Vivi. She's our publications manager. She's came after Lindy when we launched Ultimate World Publishing. Vivi started almost 5 years ago, right? And she's currently in Port Douglas on her phone. So let's see. And this is her book, Onion Girl. Again, she's a published author, just like everybody. We believed in walking our talk. So go ahead, Vivi, please share your memorable.
Okay, so hopefully you can all hear me all right. So this is my memorable moment. It's at a retreat. As Nat was saying earlier, we always like to have a few drinks before we get ready. There's a social night, Saturday night. It's party night. We're getting ready to dance and drink and have some fun. And the theme, we had these themes, as Nat said, it was the love that you saw with hers, but ours was superhero. And Nat dressed as Superwoman and I dressed as Nigella Lawson, my favourite chef. And so we were getting ready and she wanted to take photos of us before, and then of course Superman flies, and so she got the idea, it's so funny, that she was going to leap onto the bed and I was going to take all these photos of her flying through the air. And the funniest thing was she actually took this running up, ran to the bed, flew onto it, and then I'm with the camera trying not to laugh, taking all these photos, and then she'd come over and she likes to check the phone. And of course, as soon as she checked the phone and saw herself fly through the air, she cracked up. She laughed so hard, it made me laugh. I couldn't even breathe for laughing. We had such a good night. And she had to run and fix her makeup again. And then we thought, oh, well, this is good. We'll try again. So we had about, I don't know, 3 or 4 attempts now at trying to get the perfect shot of Superman flying through the air. But it was just so funny. But it's the sort of thing that, if you know Nat, she loves to have fun. And this, I think, was one of those moments where she really did fly like a superwoman.
I will reveal another thing about these photos because I'm not embarrassed, but I literally wet my pants when I saw the photos. And the reason I ran to that bathroom is I said, Viv, I need to change my underwear because, you know, after you've had 3 children, what happens, right? And because like the second photo where my face is like in that mattress, like it's buried, like I've landed, and I just kept jumping about 15 or 20 times, and it was just I still to this day just makes me crack up. So thank you, Vivi, for sharing that. And there was a retreat. Vivi and I got married because they had set up like a marriage thing because it was a retreat venue. And it was already, the arcs were there. So one of our crew like filmed us getting married, holding each other's hands at the front. Awesome. Thank you, Vivi, for logging in while you're on holidays. Hope you're having fun. Awesome. I'm going to pop you on mute. And next up is our next person that came in the midst of the pandemic was Julie Fisher, who hung around and hung around and hung around us. We felt like she was part of the team before she even became, part of the team. And she's written 3 books. You guys would all know who she is. She's our publications coordinator, just celebrated 3 years in our business. And but she has a favorite memory from her retreat.
I do. But before I share that, I just want to say thank you so very much for everything. I went from being a very frightened, nervous person to publishing 3 books that have now helped me to support my community. I do public speaking, creating social change for people like my son, Darcy. I've done a TEDx talk, and I'm growing all the time and learning so much along the way from you all the time. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything, because I think you'd remember what I was like at the half-day seminar. I nearly left because I was so nervous and didn't think you could help me. And I'm glad I stayed because my whole life has changed and it's just amazing. I absolutely love it. And my favourite memory from my retreat in May 2019 is this tree. Now, let me tell you, I also discovered that this particular night that Nat and I have something in common, and that is photos. Photos, always looking for that perfect spot to have the photo. And I remember the first night seeing this tree thinking, oh my God, I have to get a photo at that tree. And Nat was thinking the same thing. So we all went out there and we got these photos at the tree. And one of the ladies on retreat with me, Stephanie, she was a stripper and she was very sexily doing all these beautiful poses at the tree, and we wanted to do that too, but we didn't quite.
But we didn't.
Yeah. So we had all these amazing photos at the tree, and then I decided that I wanted to get another one. So I started to climb into the tree so I could peek around. And I did it, got the photo, hopped off, and I actually grazed all of the front of my leg and it was bleeding profusely. I went in and everyone was like, oh my God, what happened to you? Are you okay? I said, yes, I'm okay. I shouldn't have climbed a tree, but I did. So yeah, it was so much fun. Just the best. I absolutely loved my retreat, and I love being part of the team, the family, and I love supporting all these beautiful people to achieve their dreams of writing their first books as well. It's the best.
Thank you so much, Jules. I really appreciate it. And yes, that was a very fun night. Awesome. All right, let's move on to Wendy Trevathan, who's now been part of the team 18 months. But Wendy was one of our authors 5 years ago. She actually was at the record holding retreat in August 2018, Wendy?
That's right.
That's right. And she's written a couple of books, and she's now a book strategist for Australia and New Zealand. So do you have a favorite moment that you remember?
I do. I've actually got two moments that I want to share with you. Now everyone knows, Nat knows that she makes the most makes the most out of every minute of the day. Now, I'm going to tell you this story because we could not believe what was happening before our eyes, before a seminar. Now, her and Stuart and the family were overseas. I think you're in LA. When then this happened.
Driving from Las Vegas back to LA.
Yes, in a hire car, and they were searching on the GPS for their Airbnb. Now, I'm going to tell you, we got into our pre-seminar debrief at about 15 minutes before the seminar was due to start. And Natasha was on the laptop in the car giving us a running commentary of the number of minutes on the GPS to get to the Airbnb, and it was within like about 1 minute of the seminar actually starting. Now, she had her screensaver on, very prepared. Stuart, of course, they'd obviously talked about this, and you'll do that and I'll do this, but we were getting a running commentary as they were approaching the driveway. No, actually 2 blocks away, and then approaching the driveway. And then Stuart trying to find the keys to get into the door. Now she put the computer within sort of focus so we could actually see Stuart trying to struggle with the door, getting into the Airbnb, putting the laptop down on the bench within like 30 seconds of the seminar starting. Of course, everyone came onto the call, and we were cracking ourselves. It was infectious. The people that took part in that seminar started the call in a really sort of high vibration, full of energy, and they had no idea what had happened in the last 10, 15 minutes before that. But the good thing is I actually got my phone out and I recorded the whole thing. So now when you think that you're cutting it fine with anything, you cannot beat this champion. She will leave anything, no second unturned. I think at one stage, Vivi and I were looking at each other and I'm going, Vivi, if it's not happening, you're it.
Well, I was going to just start the seminar from the car hotspotted, and I was just going to pretend I was not in a car driving, but we made it with 1 minute to spare. I said, hello, everybody, welcome to today's seminar. And I just walked in from an 8-hour drive because it took 3 hours extra to come back from Las Vegas into LA than it took from LA to Las Vegas the day before. So it was great. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. Amazing. And we'll hear now from our newest team member, and that is Tammy Pritchard, the corporate maniac. You can see here a photo of me and Tammy. We actually met in real life at the Christmas party in LA. And she came into our team about 4 months ago. So is there a favorite moment? I mean, you've been part of the community 18 months now, Tammy. So I'll hand it to you.
Yeah, I mean, this opportunity has helped me grow, not just writing the book, but the opportunity to work with Nat, see what goes on behind the scenes. If you think she's extraordinary, you should see the behind the scenes, because it's 10 times as extraordinary as what we experience on the outside, right? So get to be on the inside, and it's just a phenomenal organization. My funniest moment, right? It wasn't necessarily at the retreat, although I did the retreat. My funniest moment that I'll never forget, when I turned in my manuscript for the first time and I got it back from the editor via Jules and Vivi, I looked at the corrections, I looked at the cover letter, and I said, that's it. It is a scam. It's a scam. There's no way that I have this view of corrections. No way. And it was really, but that was the first thing that I thought. And I just kind of couldn't believe it. I almost asked to be assigned a second editor just to have a comparison. That was my own limiting belief that, I come from the corporate world where I have mastery over my trade, to never having written a book and now working with authors. And it's just been a really big, it's just been life-changing for me, to sound cliche. And I appreciate your patience. I am Ultimate 48 Hour Author's biggest fan. I know the system because I did it, and I find it shocking if somebody says that, they don't want to join our team. I'm almost offended for us, because I just believe in what we do so much. And anyway, it means a lot for you to mentor me in this space. And I really feel so lucky that I get to talk and help facilitate other, mostly women, some men, bringing their book to life, because it isn't about the book, it's about who you become on the other side. So thank you for all your patience with me. And the editor, there was nothing wrong with the editor. It was me.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Tammy. We're going to run over by 5 or 6 minutes, guys. We've got one final person to hear from the team, and other key team members here that you can see on the screen. Of course, Nick's been around for 9 years. You know that he's our cover designer and graphic designer overall that helps our authors on so many different projects. Velen, who's based over in Bulgaria, he messaged us last night, it's going to be 3 a.m. at my end. I said, don't worry, I wasn't expecting for you to come. But I have to acknowledge him because he's been with us for more than 4 years now, and he does amazing internal layout design. I just think he's such attention to detail. He makes every book so unique. When we found him, he was just like we're not looking no further. He's just an expert at what he does. And about 18 months ago, we engaged TK, Traice Kochev. Both Nick and Traice come from where I was born, from Macedonia, and I got the pleasure of meeting everyone face to face. Well, I've met Nick a few times over the years because I've been back there a few times, but I hadn't met TK and Velen. And we had a trip in Bulgaria, a whirlwind 36 hours that we spent there, and we just created new bonds and all that sort of stuff. So Nick, do you have a moment that you want to share briefly?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm really happy to see you all, and congratulations to Nat, Stuart, and the whole team for this amazing 10 years. Oh, I just realized how long was this journey and how many projects we did together. I joined Nat in 2014, November 2014, so almost 9 years. We worked on so many things. We were growing together, and I know when I started working in 2014, I was a student that I was trying to earn some money for my studies. And now after 9 years together, I just 1 month ago, I received an award from our government for one of the most successful companies, 5% of most successful companies in my country. So I can be more grateful to be part of this team, and we grow together in all these years. And thank you so much to all of you for the support and for working with me and trust me and everything. So I'm looking forward for many more years together.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm very happy that we are, after we meet each other with Nat and Stuart, we become friends now. And I remember a few years ago when I talked with Lindy, I said we'll meet each other. One day she said, oh, we are a long distance, not sure. And here we go. In June we will meet
2024. Everyone's coming to the Gold Coast.
It will be a great year.
And we're going to be having a big party at the Gold Coast House. So, I'll let you guys know who are based in that area. when it is happening. So thank you for staying up with us so late. You always do, Nick. You show up at the retreats. It's always middle of the night. You guys over in Europe, you know, you're in a very unkind time difference because mostly what works well is the mornings here and for the US and Canada. But you've done amazing work, and even our banners, our backgrounds today, Nick designed them. So we're looking all celebratory. All right. So the last people I haven't put on slides is, of course, our editors. There's about 12 editors we've got on hand. I just want to acknowledge them. They're a mixture of USA, Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand editors, and I really, really appreciate all the help that they do. And yeah, we've met some of them and had lunches and all that sort of stuff. So a couple of things to cover off. Most of you might be aware of this, but you might not be. So I'm just going to give it a 1-minute mention, is that during this month of October, we have been running our 10-year anniversary special. That has meant that we have taken 10% of all across all of our services, or $1,000 off the ultimate package, which is our all-inclusive package. Either $1,000 off, or people can choose $1,000 worth of printed books. This is something we have never done. We used to just do a bonus to the first person that signs up, that they would get $1,000 worth of books, but this was across the board during October. This is applied to in-house and new authors, okay? So an in-house author who might want another publishing package or do a best-selling campaign, they can get the 10% discount during this month. So there are 6 days left. So if you have been thinking like Francesca, and I think Diane McKendry contacted me, Anna Munoz I've been speaking to, Anne-Marie Taney, Jill, I think maybe you're speaking to Wendy about it. I have a list of people I've been speaking to. Now is the time. And, Jane Ting, you got your 3rd book with this bonus. I mean, it's a significant saving, and you guys know what our investments are and all that sort of stuff. So what you need to do is book a chat with me. It's a 15-minute, very quick thing. Myself, Wendy, and Tammy. Lindy's going to put those links in, and I'm open all through, even though the weekend, because right now we're closing this. And you know what happens when you run a special? Everyone takes action in the last 2 days, right? So we've already had the most successful month since going online, the most successful month. We've onboarded 32 new packages and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot, right, guys? So if you want to do it, this is the time, because January 1, prices are going up. They're going up for ultimate, for publishing, for in-house, it's inflation. Every year things will change. So there's some links. They're all 15-minute chats. We can just connect and find out. If you're one of the new people who is not one of our authors on the call today, we might need you for a little bit longer to talk to you deeper, because we don't know you yet, right? But yeah, just book a time. As I said, my calendar's open even through the weekend. The ladies are during their hours that they're working. Now, let's give away. Everyone loves a giveaway, right? So what we decided to do is, because a lot of you guys may have some of our books, all of our books, or whatever it is, on our website, because I want you to choose what you want your price to be. I don't want you to get double up or anything. You're going to go to well, not right now, but when you go to the shop page, anything that you see aside from the online portal, like any of the books, planners, there's the Evergreen Diary, anything that you see on these couple of pages, you can select to be your prize, and then we will post it to you as one of the gifts. All right. So how do you win? We are going to be using the chat box. Okay. So the first person to get this right in the chat box. All right. So I'm going to open the first slide. Are you ready? Get your fingers ready. Let's see. All right. I actually need to get the answer for this one. Sorry. So I'm talking about this version of the 48-Hour Author book, not other versions, this version of 48-Hour Author book. All right. So I'm just going to change this to everyone. Here's the first question. Guess how many pages, look at this, I'm almost spelling are, or is the Ultimate 48-Hour Author book. Okay, guess how many pages? So the last printed page, you know, that has a number on it. The last printed page that has a number on it. Let's see who's going to let me. Oh, my goodness. All right, first person to get this right. Otherwise, I'm going to go with the closest. No one yet. All right, I'm going to give you a range now. It's between 130 and 150. All right, no one. Oh, Kate Pring. Kate Prendergast. Yay! 141. You actually were the closest on your first guess as well. You didn't cheat, did you? Because you didn't look at the book. No, all good, all good. I can take you off mute if you want to make a comment. Yes, it's
I did after. So my first guess was 140, and then I turned around and grabbed the book off the shelf.
Fair enough, fair enough. That's okay. That's okay. You could be resourceful like that. Yes, it was 100. Oh, I can't show it to you, but it is 141 pages. All right, so go on the website, choose what you want, and let Lindy know and send her your address. If you want a planner, if you want the diary, whatever it is, just choose whatever you don't have. Okay, ready? Next question. How many Ultimate 48-Hour Author Retreats have been completed? Have been completed. Oh, who's the first one? We've got a right answer here. Carmen. Carmen probably knew because it was her retreat. Come off mute, Carmen.
Yes, it was my retreat in August. Number 40.
Yeah, good one, good one, good one. And we're about to do number 46 and number 18 virtually. So well done, Carmen. I look forward to also meeting you in real life very soon. Awesome. All right, final question. And obviously go on the website, choose what you want, send us the thing. And maybe Lindy, if you can follow up with the winners, what they want, we can send it to them. All right, and Mum will post them. All right, last question. Ready? What's the most books a single author has published via Ultimate 48-Hour Author? I knew this one was going to be fast, but Dora was the fastest fingers. Dora, where are you, Dora? Give me a wave. There you are. Obviously, the answer for this was revealed at the very beginning of this party, right? And you remembered. Oh, well done, Dora. And congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Amazing. So go pick what you want and tell Lindy and all that sort of stuff. Perfect. Good job, you guys. All of you got that one right. All right. So the last thing I want to share is we are having a real life party. We're not just having a kind of this because I wanted just to do something face to face. And so I know it's in Melbourne and not everyone's in Melbourne, but Carmen's traveling in from interstate to be there. So I thought I'd just send the invite out. You never know. It is going to be happening. So it's going to be a blend of a Christmas party and 10-year anniversary. And it's going to be Friday, 8th of December. It won't be too much talking. There might be like a little speeches segment for half an hour, but it's going to be a proper party. Like we're going to, I'll provide like finger food, canopies, all that sort of stuff. I've hired the venue. It's going to be the Sporting Globe in Doncaster shopping town. Super easy, free parking right in front of the venue. It's going to be like a 4-hour, if we stay on later, doesn't matter, but it will start from 6 p.m. And there's going to be dress theme is just dressing Christmas colors. That's basically what's happening. So if you're anywhere nearby in the vicinity in Victoria, maybe nearby, you do want to make a weekend, have a weekend in Melbourne, then you are invited. Can you please, though, email us and let us know that you're coming? Because obviously I'm going to contact a lot of Melbourne people. And this party, I'm not just making it just purely for authors, but I'm going to invite some other people that have been important in my journey, like my accountant, my financial advisor, like some people that have played a part, and some family as well, right? So we're going to be expecting, we have quite a beautiful, awesome, large venue. I went and saw it on Saturday. I've paid my deposit, all that sort of stuff. So so that's what's happening. And so my final slide, of course, it's my quote that writing a book is not about the book, but of course it's about the person you become at the other end of it. So share with me one word in the chat box how you found this party. Did you enjoy it? Well, maybe 1 or 2 words of how, because I've never done a virtual party. I literally did not know, like, kind of, what do you do? What do you kind of put on there? Inspired, uplifting, great celebration, outstanding, enlightening, fantastic. Hopefully it was organized as well. Was it organized? Because I thought, oh my God, at the beginning I was like, there's so many people. I don't know how to take people off mute and send them messages and all that. I thought there would be snacks, Stuart. It's time for eat your lasagna for lunch. That's what I'm going to be doing, celebrating. Thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate. I can see so many familiar faces. I haven't had a chance, obviously, to say to everyone a big thank you and hello, and I hope we could cross paths in real life at some point. Definitely want to be making my way over to Hawaii to see Anna and Ron over there, and we've got quite a few authors over there. And yeah, so I won't mention everyone's names because there's so many of you guys. I look forward to chatting to some of you if you want to talk to us about our 10-year celebration special, which completes on Halloween. And then we're wrapping up the year. Then we're turning our focus to our November authors who are in prep mode, Zilla and Ron and some of the others, Sydney, yes, Marianne, she's refocusing. Layla, yeah, they're all here. They're all here. I said I was going to mention names because I'm sure someone would feel left out. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I have had the best ride, and I hope, yeah, we're going to be coming back together to celebrate. It's been 20 years, 15. I've got, like, you know, come on. I need to have some long service leave. No, I always have a good break at the end of the year. Just so you guys know, I do sleep. I do have a lot of chill out time and vegging and watching Netflix. So don't worry about me. I manage my energy really well. Have an awesome afternoon, whatever you're doing. And thank you once again for being here and supporting us. Bye, guys. See ya. Thank you. Bye.